Talk about she ain't never seen nobody like that. Quit playing. You know that girl lying.
So then let's not say that something is incentivized just because people are choosing.
But a lot of women do choose to have children by men, knowing that the government will compensate for the absent parent.
Yeah.
I've not yet met these women. Do you believe that if a woman had two options in front of her, a man that was going to love, protect, and provide for her and her family, their family, or food stamps and government assistance, that she would choose food stamps and government assistance?
I think that's a stretch. You know what I'm saying? Because the main thing that she said was protect and provide. I think when you say provide, that's going to automatically, you know what I'm saying, throw up a woman's ears anyway. And like the other lady was saying, they're all around. I don't think they're all around. I think it's some women that probably would choose, but no, I can still keep my independence, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't got to worry about no man telling me what to do or whatever like that. Maybe it's people that do, women that have that complex about, oh, if a man, you know, say provide money for me, that means he can control me, and now I don't need nobody controlling me. Yeah, you might have those women or whatever, but I would hope the majority of women would pick out of them two options. I hope that majority of women would choose choice A.
Right, and out of the two choices, of course, I'm going to go with the man that's going to love, protect, and provide. But what makes food stamp and government assistance an option?
You're getting it with no hassle. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So
they feel like, because Uncle Sam not going to come to your door and be like, hey, what you spending the food stamps on? Like, the only thing you can't spend it on is like clothes and stuff. Normally, you can tell when somebody is paying with groceries with cash or card versus when they're paying it with food stamps. They got buku cereal, they got buku ramen noodles, they got buku packs of cookies and shrimp and hot dogs and hamburgers. Yeah, you know, so all this stuff. Like, you can tell. Versus if you got a man providing for that, he gonna be like, baby, what you getting all these lobster tails for? What you getting all this, you know what I'm saying, this for? But if Uncle Sam doing it, Uncle Sam is gonna be on your shoulder telling you, oh, you can't get these many cookies, you can't get all these Cokes, you can't get, you know, so all these packs of ramen noodles, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So that would be my only thought process of why they would choose government assistance versus a man being physically there and loving, protecting, and providing for you.
Yeah, you might have a better quality of life because you don't have that other person to tell you what you can and cannot do to make a budget work and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, sure, they're not gonna come to your door and find out what you spending it on, but they show up to your door to make sure ain't no man living in that thing.
The way it's set up, the mother and the children are better off if the husband isn't working or if the husband isn't there.
And the most important thing is to keep the man out of the household so y'all can't struggle and build together. Ain't nobody trying to build together because they equate it with struggling, and they equate struggling to meaning that it's bad. But that ain't the purpose of relationship. Like I said, is for two people to come together like Lego and snap and make a building or something. Nah, that ain't how that work. I would like it for it to work that way, but it don't work like that.
Even on the opposite end of that, bro, they'll keep you stuck.
Well, Mr. Brown wanted to keep away from this kind of thing for a very good reason. The people who get on welfare lose their human independence and feeling of dignity. They become subject to the dictates and whims of their welfare supervisor, who can tell them whether they can live here or there, whether they may put in a telephone, what they may do with their lives. They're treated like children, not like responsible adults. And they're trapped in the system.
This is what some of them do, and I've seen this with my own eyes. I don't know if they did it back in the day, but now they will let you know when an inspection is happening. So now that man got a week or so to get all his stuff, you know what I'm saying, out of the townhome or the apartment or whatever, and make it look like it's just her children now. But dang case, at least it's somebody, a man in the household. That's you're being stuck. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what they're not doing. What they're not doing. Some of them do require it, but most of them don't. What they're not doing is building for their future.
Right.
They're living for right now. Man, my rent $37 or $74. Man, I could go get me a box Chevy. You know what I'm saying? I could go put some 30s on it. Man, I can get this big screen TV. Man, I can get this leather sectional or whatever like that. Because guess what? Man, my rent ain't number $74. So that money that I'm making or that I'm not reporting, I can get that to all my wants. But you're not fulfilling none of your needs that you're
Right.
trying to get where you can have your own. But guess what? That'll be something that'll be never be your. Yeah, you spending $74 a month on it or whatever like that. But that's something that'll never be yours. That's something that you could never have a legacy. That's something you could never pass down to your son, to your daughter, to your grandchildren, whatever like that. Because guess what? The government owns it. So while a man, you know what I'm saying, is in the, you know what I'm saying, is in the house, he's basically living off the woman paying the 37 or the 74 or the $100, you know what I'm saying, but rent, and y'all have no gain. Y'all not gonna say, hey, let's stack up, let's make ends meet, but let's stack up this money to where in a year or two we'll have 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, and we could put that down on a house. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me trying to flip your tax money, are we taking a trip? You know what I'm saying? On tax money, let's put that to the side. Okay, you getting back 8,000 on your taxes. Okay, then if we could save another 8,000, that's 16,000. You know what I'm saying? At the at the end of the year, let's work on our credit. Man, we could put $16,000 on a, you know what I'm saying, on maybe on a $250,000 house or $200,000 house. You know what I'm saying? Something that's owned, something that you could put equity in it that could be yours. You ain't got to worry about, you know what I'm saying, no inspection. Some people just popping up, you know what I'm saying, on you, whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about, you know what I'm saying, all this other frivolous stuff that you got to worry about when you living in something that's not yours, and people can just barge in that. The maintenance man can walk down anytime he want to. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you can build towards something that is going to be your own. But if you're leaning towards the government, you know what I'm saying, helping you, guess what? You're basically at even though it seems like a great thing that you only pay $74 a month, you still at the government's, you still at Uncle Sam's mercy. And now y'all even worse than where y'all started at, because y'all didn't plan to be ahead, y'all planned to live in the now.
Yeah, and there are some women that really are using the system the way it's intended. You get that couple dollars and you build yourself up, and then buy you a small little home, and then you level that up, and then you pay that off, or you get it to a point where you can refinance it and get you something real, and then you elevate your job performance and get a better job or go to school. There are some women that's out there that's doing that. But the thing about it is, majority of the people are just using it to, like you say, finance trips, finance a lifestyle, get comfortable in the lifestyle, and you don't even need no man to lead you. And now you have this idea that the only way that a man can please you is if he making 6 figures or more. Like, how you just come from Section 8 expecting a man to have 6 figures and that you deserve. So it is true that it is incentivized. Let's not act like that is not.
Yeah.
That's why I asked the question, like, why is that like the glorified option? Like, you taking this man out that loves you, that provides, that, like, you doing away with him because you want to be independent and you want. But when you go to these government, you still have to follow their rules are more stricter than had that man still been in the house. And then you still have to it's like you can't make over a certain amount. So you put your own self in this little box trying to hold on to something that's really hindering you. Because you can't make a certain amount. You can't make over a certain amount. If you do, they either take it away or they reduce it.
Maybe a job comes up that looks better than welfare, but they're afraid to take it, because if they lose it after a few months, it may be 6 months or 9 months before they can get back onto welfare. And as a result, this becomes a self-perpetuating cycle rather than simply a temporary state of affairs.
And then you have to show them bank statements if you are working. Like, you got to prove all of this stuff. It's like, is it really worth it to be paranoid and give me the man?
I heard it with my own ears. Girl, I ain't gonna work no more hours because they're gonna cut back on my food stamps.
Man, I done heard it too.
That is crazy. So you limit yourself for him, that's crazy.
The government will compensate for the absent parent.
I've not yet met these women,
I think
but I
think we gotta.
Oh my God!
Situations, a lot of situations when we talk specifically about Black people, we have to consider that it's usually both and. That the reason it even becomes optional to choose government assistance is because there is also an attack on the person that's supposed to be there. It is made convenient for you to not investigate why so many Black men are not in the home or unable to support or afraid to support. It becomes way more convenient to not have that investigation and conversation if you can somehow subsidize the absence. You don't worry about mass incarceration. You don't worry about lack of resources and proper sexual education. You don't worry about those things because they're subsidized.
So here's the question. Now that we know that there's an agenda, where does that agenda come from, gentlemen?
The man?
Well. If it ain't the man, Mr. Establishment, Whitey himself, old fake white devil cracker.
Hey, that's enough. We've got big plans for you.
Man, I think it's even a little deeper than that. I think Satan don't want marriage, not no godly marriage. Not where there's an order of man, woman, child, or God, man, woman, and child. And what better way to do that is institute a welfare system. We're looking out for your welfare. But really what they're doing is undermining the family structure. It's like cutting the bottom of a pocket. You can stick money in it all you want to, but it's gonna fall right out.
Well, I think in that case, brother and sister, I think that's where we have to educate ourselves. Because if we know that they doing the okie doke, right, and we hear it or whatever, like, are we still gonna be ignorant in it? Well, you know what? I'm fine, you know what I'm saying, with paying $74, you know what I'm saying, a month. Cause guess what? I'm still gonna go to take me a trip every 3 months. You know what I'm saying? I still got all these new TVs. I got these Louis bags, these red bottoms. Or are you gonna be like, okay, we've been ignorant long enough, but now we're gonna use the government. Okay, you keep paying that $74. We gonna stack. We ain't taking no trips this year. We gonna stack this money and get us our own. You know what I'm saying? That way we won't, you know what I'm saying, we won't need them in that, you know what I'm saying, in that way. You know what I'm saying? So if we know it's the man, it's Satan, or whatever other ungodly devices that they're using, you know what I'm saying, to pull this, right? What are we gonna do, you know what I'm saying, to change it, you know what I'm saying, and to, you know what I'm saying, and to better yourselves, not just for us, you know what I'm saying, but it's something about, you know what I'm saying, being able to leave something, you know what I'm saying, for your, you know what I'm saying, for your children, the way your children won't have to struggle or won't have to go through what you went through. You know what I'm saying? That way you pass that knowledge, you know what I'm saying, down to them. Because guess what? If you live a Section 8 life, guess what you're gonna pass on to your children?
Yeah.
Girl, just get on Section 8. Girl, why you paying $800 mortgage when you can just stay in these apartments for as long as you want to for $100?
But look at the apartments though. And I think it may be because it's like that hood mentality that this is all I know. If that's all you like saw growing up, that's all. And the fact that like when people die, the section they can get passed down to their children, that's crazy.
You can pass your Section 8 down to your kid.
One of the saddest things is that many of the children whose parents are on welfare will in their turn end up in the welfare trap when they grow up. In this public housing project in the Bronx, New York, 3/4 of the families are now receiving welfare payments.
That should let you know right there it's a setup.
Oh wow.
That should let you know by itself that it's a setup. But this is why men need to be in leadership position, because of course, if you give the money to somebody, they're not going to see the forest from the trees. You shouldn't expect them to, right? So the whole purpose of us as men is to cover women, is so we can come in and say, hey, the spiritual, I'm doing this. But how many women really want their man to lead? I'm not talking about lead and money. I'm talking about lead your spiritual life.
Yeah.
That's the most important. But y'all treat it like it's something in the back of y'all mind instead of the front of y'all mind. Like, you can't really hand your Section 8 down to your kids, and you think that's a perk.
That's crazy.
As long as they're on the case when you pass, it goes to them. It goes to the oldest.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Right. That is crazy. I didn't know that.
I think we gotta, in one of these situations, a lot of situations when we talk specifically about black people, we have to consider that it's usually both and. That the reason it even becomes optional to choose government assistance is because there is also an attack on the person that's supposed to be there. It is made convenient for you to not investigate why so many black men are not in the home or unable to support or afraid to support. It becomes way more convenient to not have that investigation and conversation if you can somehow subsidize the absence. You don't worry about mass incarceration. You don't worry about lack of resources and proper sexual education. You don't worry about those things because they're subsidized.